If you hear it beep, you have to kind of start it again, right, Dave? Okay. Anyways, go ahead.
Okay. Did you want to warm up a little bit, or do you want to just go right in? It's up to you. You want to feel the piano a little bit? I mean, did you try it?
No.
Why don't you play a scale or something, or? Yeah, it has like it has a lighter touch, I think, for a Steinway. This is actually a rebuilt Steinway. It looked like a piece of junk before we got it redone, but now it's pretty nice. It's a good piano to practice on. I practice on it a lot, but yeah. All right, let's go through this, and then maybe we could talk about well, depending on how we do. We can talk about ensemble stuff. I mean, it'd be great if we had the whole ensemble, obviously, but like maybe we can go over things of what to listen for in the other parts, and obviously your part. So, all right, how much do you have of this ready to go?
It's pretty good up until right here.
Oh, up until the exposition, the end of the exposition?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you want to try to play up to there, and then we can go from there? Did you want to go? Well, let me just listen. Probably be nice to listen.
sure, but it's a few months at least.
A few months. And have you rehearsed with the other musicians?
No,
Yeah. When are you gonna have a chance to do that?
like 2 weeks, I think.
In 2 weeks. Okay. Okay. There's a lot of good things, and a lot of it is there. Okay. One thing that we can work on, and we can break it down step by step. Practice slow many times. Yes, I agree. One thing that you have to do, you have to know. First of all, it's chamber music, and in chamber music, you have to know what is important and what is not. Right. So being mindful of who has the tune, right? And then when you have accompaniment, to be soft. But then there are times where, for example here, in this sort of supportive role, I probably would think deeper in the bass to show support for the violin and cello, right? Rather than just having everything being soft. Things like that, and also like tempo relationships, right? And I know you're learning this. So knowing, because I know that the tempos here were different than this and then this, but it's probably because you're learning it, right? So it's probably good to keep a tempo overall that that's so relatable, that you can play everything at an evenness. And now there are going to be places where you're going to talk to cellists and violinists, say like, okay, we're going to take some time here, and we're going to, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. By the way, this rhythm right here, bum pa da 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 dee da da. You know what I mean? So the rhythm was 2 1 2 1 da 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 ti da 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 da. So ba da 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 da. So it'd be 1 2 3 1 bum 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 2 da 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 ba ba ba, yeah, bum dee da 2 da. Yeah, so just make sure that ba da 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 da. That's right. Da 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 da. 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1. So yeah, just make sure that syncopation is there. Yeah. Somebody circled that. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. It is a good start, though. Well, why don't we, let's just go through it step by step, okay? Let's start from the top. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about that. First of all, I would probably make this little phrase, this 4-bar phrase, different than this 4-bar phrase, right? Or actually, it's a 4-bar phrase and then it's 2 and then 2, right? Beethoven does that, 4 plus 2 plus 2. And I would probably go to the E flat. So. And I probably wouldn't play, right? I would probably taper off on this G right here. If anything, I would probably put more arm weight down on this B right here. So something like, and then this is much lighter. And maybe here you can probably add the soft pedal here. There's so many little details. All right, so start it one more time. So can you just play this? Okay. So when you play something like this, I would probably think of this in one group. And then as you're playing through, I would go down, right, with the wrist, and then go up there, right? So I'm thinking about it as one phrase. As if it were just, if it was like 2 notes, right? In this case, it's 4 notes. Yes, something like that. Yeah, so when you come down for that first note, make sure it's nice and strong, but you're using your arm weight there. Yes. And you know what a lot of, so we think piano, I mean obviously piano means soft, but I would probably think of piano as like your speaking voice, right? So it's okay to speak it a little bit. I mean, everybody has a tune there, right? See, violin, cello, everybody has a tune. So it has to be heard, right? And maybe what you can do to really emulate this pianissimo is to probably use a little bit more left hand emphasis. That would really darken the sound. So if you had here it goes. Oh yeah. So yeah, like you can easily darken the sound and make it sound softer if you put a little more emphasis in the left hand in that pianissimo bar, right? So try one more time. Yeah, so I also wouldn't take time there, right? The place I would take time is at the fermata. So there has to be energy. So start one more time. Good. Keep going. And then obviously that's something that you have to discuss with the violinist there, as he or she might want to take some more time there, right? You can also maybe think of this phrase as a little bit more free, right? I would probably do a little bit more on that. So make sure that there's a smooth to that. Maybe you can add a touch of pedal to connect those. So it's a fermata there. So I'd probably hold it for maybe, let's just hypothetically say for 6 counts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in order for it to sound like a 2-note phrase, there has to be more stress on this chord and then less on that. Yeah, maybe I would probably start like deeper into the key like that and then slide up to get the 2-note phrase. Yeah, you see the difference? You see that? So it's like you go in, out. Yeah, exactly. Play the whole phrase there. So don't lose the tempo. I'll probably do more on this one. And and then bum 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 bum. Okay, so ba 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 be. So the phrase is ba 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 da, which you did, but be careful not to accent the upbeat. Right? Be careful. This upbeat. So no accents. No accent here. So you would go. Oh, sorry. So on the G. So if I wanted to break it down, so you go down, and then as you're lifting your wrist, you're gonna press the G. So you're lifting the. Yes. So it's just a simple. Just do this. Yeah, you see that? Because the way you were playing it before, you're giving an accent to an offbeat. So it's a little distracting. And at the same time, so as you come up, then you drop down into this the new phrase. What's Be careful not to hold it down as one. So as you're coming up with your thumb, as you're coming up, just play the note, and you'll do this, and you do it. Yes. It's just like any. You can do, like when you're doing these 2-note slurs, I drop the wrist, and as I'm playing the second note, as I'm lifting the wrist, I'm playing the second note, so it's nice and light. Just try that. So you're literally using all of your arm weight to drop in on that first note, and then lift on the second one. Try that. Just try that from C. Just try 1, 2. Just try 1, 2. 1. Yes. Yeah. And the goal is not to yes. You see, it's if you can engage your arm weight like that, it's a world of difference when you're trying to do. That's the best way to do. For me, it's much easier to do those 2-note phrases. Right? Maybe just try the right hand. Don't linger on the G though. Let's add the left hand. Nice. So I'm let's color it a little bit. So you did everything very, very similar. But look at this. See, I see 1, 1, 5. You know what I'm talking about, right? The chord progression. 1, 1, 5. 5, 5, 1. So in theory, which chord do you think gets the most emphasis?
5.
Yes. Why? This is just my musical logic, but I want to see what your reasoning is. So I see the 5 chord, and in theory, when you're doing the 5 to 1, there's a dissonance, right? So it's kind of cool to emphasize the dissonance more than the resolution, right? I probably wouldn't emphasize the resolution. Sometimes resolution is nice, and you need to put some juice in it, but I would probably put more more emphasis on the 5, right? You see? And then you get this kind of effect, right? Because I would probably go more intense to the 5 and then come back. So something like this. I would say more, and then here, come down. Right. So. Just try that little coloration there. So be careful not. That was good. Just be careful not to rush. Nice. Yeah, just be careful not to be sluggish with the time there. Yes. One more time. Be careful not to accent the G. Just remember to bring the wrist up like we did. Yeah, just look slowly, maybe slowly. Yeah, and again, I would probably go. Little less. Better. Yes, yes. Just be careful not to accent those G's though. Yeah. And if you want to practice it slowly, up. Yeah, you gotta trust. Yes. You gotta trust your arm weight. So do this. Just drop your, yes, well you're dropping your whole arm. Yes, yes. Now. I'm telling you, if you can engage that sort of two-note phrase, that two-note phrase idea, down up, that's most tonal music, most Western classical music, and you get a nice little taper, right? That's the idea of a, because otherwise it'll just sound, all the notes will sound equal in the phrase, right? So do it one more time and then we can move on to the next thing. Nice. That was actually much better than when you played it the first time. Reason being is I heard a lot of this. A lot of left hand, right? So it's probably good to have like a supportive. And obviously you were doing it, you know, this sforzando. So Beethoven does this a lot, right, in all of his music, where the sforzanos are on weird beats, like in this case, that second beat. So make sure that this is heard. This doesn't sound the same as these two notes. Make sure it's bum ba bum ba. You see what I mean by the tempo? You see what I mean by the tempo? Right? So what's the fastest you can play those 16 notes? Sorry, I should rephrase that. What's the most comfortable fast tempo that you can play? So that means that means that the beginning theme has to be ba 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 be ba 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 be ba 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 be, and then bum be bum bum. Just try that. Just try it from bum. Remember, don't make these two notes equal. It's bum bum no bum